not a particularly good computing day because I can't get the iPad to load up Skydemon because it says I don't have internet, which is fair enough. It's a bit of a last minute thing. We went across to Earl's Cone and picked up some fuel by car. I just want to get a flight in. I haven't flown for 2 or 3 weeks. Well, it has been a very nice day. So Duncan's already just gone. Nothing in particular, just getting back into the air. Oh, try a bit of carb heat. I know it's quite cold out there. Transponder goes to on. I got full fuel in the front. I got 55, well I've probably got 53 litres in the front. And my gauge is saying half in the back. More than sufficient for what I want to do. I had thought about just running up the coast a little bit. Sort of, with everything's sort of failing, it sort of put me off a little bit. Not that it should do, because it's not all to do with the technology, because I can do that bit without any, well, not without any trouble, but navigating wise it won't cause a problem. Don't know quite how wet the runway is going to be. This is that much heavier than anything else. Well, anything else that we've got here, put it that way. Okay, let's go.
My name is Tim Palmer. I fly a Jodel DR1050 out of this farm strip in East Anglia.
That was rather nice. Looks like they're doing something down there as an extra flood protection for the river and for the village. 1,000 foot a minute up. Well, the air is cold. A little while ago it was saying it was 8 degrees. I know a couple of people have commented on the fact that they don't get a very good shot of the panel because it often darkens up, especially if I'm not with the sun behind me. So hopefully in a minute or two when I turn that way, that will brighten up and people can get a better view. I am only filming on 1080 at the moment, and that is probably going to change because
traffic, this is Gold
I am
Yankee downwind for runway 25 right.
I'm looking to upgrade with at least one camera for the back there, which will shoot slightly better. I know it means moving on to 4K and everything then becomes a little bit slower, but it was very, very reassuring and very, very humbling that so many people wrote so many nice comments in that last video. I was feeling a little bit sort of fed up. As I say, I looked at the numbers. It's not to do with numbers, because I do know that there are people out there that do watch regularly and they do comment regularly. And really, to some extent, as long as I've got one person commenting, that should be sufficient. And it is very nice. But as I say, there were so many lovely comments about people who felt that my channel was one of the channels, not the only channel, but one of the channels that encouraged them either back into flying or into flying. And I do also know that there was a couple of people out there that have gone into YouTubing because of what I've been doing. I absolutely don't claim to be a very good pilot. I don't claim to be a very good content maker. I just record it as it is. And I think actually for quite a few people that actually is what people like. I was going to say I don't do very much technical stuff, but if something happens which I think is really useful, like the back of the gizmo for the trig, which means changing frequency becomes so much easier. That's on the basis that your iPad is working properly, and I've just said to you that this one isn't, which is a bit annoying. I'm just giving it a burst. That's now taking it out of the yellow. Double check that I'm still okay for height, because I do know that if I go too far in that direction, 3.5 is the tops. Thankfully the phone is working okay. I am going up, but on the other hand I do want to try and stay low, because I do know that they're doing some work over at the stables, and I just really wanted to go and have a look and see what they were doing. It's a nice day. I should really have been helping them. Apologies to Andrew, Josh, Beach, but we did say a little while ago that with the weather being what it is, it's a matter of trying to make every flight worthwhile if you can. So I will just do this for a little while. Have a look. I'm absolutely amazed at all of the new building around. A bit strange because I don't know whether you've noticed, you've probably noticed, but I've actually put the iPad over there. The mount kept on, the sticky mount kept on coming off here. So there is a fixed mount in the panel that side. So I put it on there, and I was really hoping to be able to test that today, just to make sure that I could see it and everything. But it is a very, with the light being what it is, it's very, very reflecting. Or should I say reflective? I don't know. But I'm just going to have a quick look over here and see what happens. As this is repetitive stuff, I'm going to turn the cameras. Oh, do I care? No. I leave the cameras on. You can see what I'm doing then. Well, mustn't be higher than, what did I say? 3,500. I'm only 2,500, so that's not a problem. And what's more, I'm looking to come down a bit. Having a look over there to see if anybody's on the ground at Great Oakley. Runway is looking good. I do know that lots of the grass strips around at the moment are suffering from waterlogging. I'm going to have a problem pushing back into my hangar. I hope there's still somebody around to help me do it. It was quite a pull to get out. Well, they have moved bits and pieces. The horse is still out in the field. Very nice creek pattern. Hopefully that back camera will pick it up. It is a very, very still day by comparison to some of those we had in the summer.
I did fly the following day, and that proved to be very different. I wanted to test the technology which had failed, but the approach back into Neyland proved to be one of the most difficult in a very long while, so keep an eye out for that video in the new year.
Make sure I've got nobody approaching from the sun. Okay, I'm gonna go wide around Great Oakley. And we'll go up. I think had we flown earlier this morning, we would have had a much better visibility. I mean, it's fine, it's not too bad, but it is a little bit on the murky side. Bit of a draft coming through there. Normally in the summer you're pleased for it. Okay, I think I'm going to turn it off now for a while. Front camera coming off. Front camera coming off. I'm going to put the camera back on because that is quite pretty. I've tried taking it with my phone, but if I point that camera, you got the black water, and you've got Mersey, and you got the River Store running through here. Amford Water. I suppose I'll go wait a minute till you can see it. Amford Water's coming into view now over the far side. We did just gentle cruise climb to 7,000 feet. It was murky, so I was rather hoping we were going to get a really good view. But I mean, having said that, I'm not complaining because the air is very, very still. It's delightful. Does seem very strange when you see things from this height. You don't usually fly at this height. I know that we are actually aiming straight for Nayland. Much as I can't see it at the moment. I've got Wormingford over there with a green patch. A little while ago, there's Raiden Wings there. It switches off to the side. Sugar Beet Factory at Bury St Edmunds is over there. As I said before, it is rather nice to share this with people. It would be nice to have somebody there and point these things out, but if there's nobody there, well, there is, because you at home. Although I sincerely hope that some of you have managed to stay this far and haven't switched off. Sometimes when you look at the analytics, the number of people that watch for a matter of seconds is a little bit worrying, but each to their own. As I say, thank you very much for those people that do watch, that do leave a comment, and those people that come across the channel and subscribe. A number of people say that they've actually found it because it was a suggested video which had suddenly just popped up into their feed, which is lovely. And the other thing is, you know, what I've always found amazing is the fact that, you know, I'm getting comments from literally all over the world. And yeah, I still find that very, very, very strange, very humbling, Going over the top now of Raiden wings. Trouble is, because it's sort of old perspex, you get this sort of glazed halo around the sun. I could put the heater on, because it has got a very good heater. But having said that, I don't want to cook myself. Let's just try it and see. Because in the summer we talk about trying to blanket off because of all of the heat that comes through it. And immediately it's feeling really warm. It's warm on my feet, not quite so on the side here. Although, talking with Rob last week, he did suggest that why didn't I take the Venturi off? Because it's not actually doing anything. I can see Nayland now, not a problem. And I think I will do, but when I went to unscrew from the outside, they were just turning, so I'm assuming that behind this panel here, we've got some nuts that are holding it in place. But what I did wonder is whether or not for the summer to actually try and feed in an air vent, so you've got one of those sort of eye things that can steer cold air around, because it really does get extremely uncomfortable sometimes in the summer. Although difficult to think about now when I'm complaining about being cold. I haven't heard anything from Duncan, but I don't know whether he's back on the ground or not. We decided to do our own thing. We were going to go places, but by the time we'd gone and got the fuel and loaded it in and done the pre-flight, we knew it was going to be quite late. And although it's got a peculiar colour, I mean, it is only 2:45, but it is time to land and put away. And I just keep my fingers crossed that there's somebody there to help me push in. Martin said earlier that it was a real luxury to come in to land, as if it was on rails. That'll probably mean I'm going to mess mine up. I know I couldn't get Pilot Aware to work because I couldn't get the iPad to work, but I haven't seen, I've heard aircraft, but I haven't seen one aircraft since I've been flying, and I've been in the air for over an hour. Turn it up, make sure I'm not going to step on anybody. Nayland traffic over for Yankee Echo Hotel is in the overhead Nayland traffic. If Duncan's about, he might reply. Just worked out what's been making that noise. That vent has been swung round. Sheep have moved up the field a little bit since last time I flew. Really blind looking into the sun that way, but thankfully we're landing away from it. What a lovely afternoon. I don't know whether this will be my last flight before Christmas, but if it turns out that it is, I'm sorry I haven't got the Santa hat on or anything, but I do wish you all a very happy Christmas and a very merry New Year. Right, Cub, he is out. White arc. Air brake down.
Nayland traffic, Golf Whiskey, India Bravo Bravo, downwind. Mainland traffic, Golf Alpha Yankee Echo Hotel, final, mainland traffic.
Well, that's answered that question, hasn't it? If I'm going to land, I suppose I better come down a bit. Oh, there are sheep on both sides of the runway. What looks like a margin either side. Very nice, even if I say it myself. Right, there we go. As I say, I might be able to get Duncan to help me push in. I know I would. Very good at things like that. Good chap.
Mainland traffic, Golf Whiskey India Bravo Bravo, final.